So my blanket is like a typical yoga blanket, and I'm just kind of rolling it like into like a tortilla roll kind of. So any blanket that you have that'll do, that can get to about that thickness, is what you'll want today. You can do it with towels, a blanket, I mean anything. It doesn't have to be the Mexican blanket type. And we use 2 blocks if you have them. If not, you certainly can do the practice without them. All right, so I have been so excited for this morning because I can't wait to receive the gifts of this practice as well. Unwrap the gift of calm. This is the time of year we need this practice. So it will be along the lines of how a LYT method class goes, which is what I teach, but certainly not to the level of harder or anything. This is going to be a very relaxing class. We're going to really get to regulating our nervous system, lowering the stress. It's going to be a lot of using the breath to open the low back and make space in the body today. So, hi Susan. You're going to need your blanket if you have one, and a couple blocks if you have them as well. So we will begin lying on our back as we always start, and have your blocks handy because we're going to need those in a few moments. But first we will start with the blanket. And keep reminding yourself that this is unwrapped the gift of calm today, so that we really keep that feeling. That's why I sent that Zen Spa music playlist, because it's just so perfect for our practice today. We'll keep the knees bent right now and the feet hip distance apart, and a little further away from your sit bones with your feet to keep a neutral pelvis here, meaning level. If you looked at the top of your pelvis, it should look like nice and flat like a table. I often use this diamond, my thumbs and my first fingers together, and kind of put that diamond on there to see that it's level. And then move your hands to your front ribs and kind of take a big exhale through an open mouth till they sink in a little more. And then just start, you could close your eyes with some nice deep breathing into the low back ribs on your mat. This playlist is just melting me right away. You can always listen to your music on a separate device in the room that you're in. Like maybe you're playing it on your phone, but you're broadcasting the class on your laptop or your iPad, something like that. A few more breaths, unwrapping the gift of calm here. Maybe a few open mouth exhales. Perfect, perfect. We'll keep our right foot where it is, the knee bent, foot on the mat, and we're going to take our long yoga blanket or towel, whatever you have, and bring it behind your left hamstring and kind of fold it around like this with your left foot towards the sky. And give a little pressure with your hands on this blanket. And then just start with the blanket, using it to roll your femur bone internally and externally in the hip joint. This is really nice for the nervous system. It's going to get this feeling of already calming and relaxing. You're giving it a hug here. And you're not doing the moving of the left leg. You're letting the blanket hug it close and roll it. And deep breaths into the low back. Just think calm all throughout your practice today. Forget about your to-do list. I have about 10 of them. And I'm setting them aside for this hour 15. Good, so it's a giant hug for the left femur hip socket. Good. Now let's take this blanket and see how it's kind of folded already. Fold it in half like that and wedge it here in between your belly and your left thigh and bend your left knee. And I'd love you to just hold on to the top, interlace your hands around your left knee and hug it into the blanket. Extend your right leg straight, but it's not going to like flatten down onto the mat because we want to keep neutral pelvis. So my leg is straight, my right leg, but it's, I feel like a softness in my right knee. I'm not slamming it down to the mat. Closing the eyes, you're going to start to take deep breaths through the nose. And at first, you might feel that inhale rise up into your chest, right? But now I'm going to ask you to focus the inhale down into your sacrum. So the next inhale, try to take it down into your sacrum, your low back. There you go. See the space you just made way down there, all along underneath your pelvis? Try that again. So that's consciously directing the breath into the low back. A few more. There you go. And release. So now the left foot will place down in the bent knee position. I'm going to take the folded blanket, pick up my right leg, and wrap it around again like a horseshoe around my right back of my right hamstring. And I'm really hugging it in tight so that now I can kind of oscillate and use the blanket to roll around my right thigh femur bone. A nice massage. So this is going to send some yummy messages to the nervous system already to calm down a little bit. Keep directing your breath into your low back ribs, your low pelvis, your low back. You can feel that pressure down into the floor when you breathe way down into your sacrum. That's it. Good. Remove the blanket. Now just kind of fold it into that lump and place it right there down in your low right belly. Pull in the right knee so it kind of sandwiches it in, and you're holding on to the right knee. Straighten the left leg out on the mat, flex the foot. But again, I'm not trying to press my left leg down to the mat. I want to keep my neutral pelvis, meaning I'm not tipping my pelvis away from me just to get the leg down. Close the eyes. Really enjoy this yummy hug of yourself. And your practice here is to direct the breath on the inhale all the way down beneath you under your sacrum, your low back. So this means a super, super deep breath. At the very bottom of your inhale is where you're going to feel that down deep below you. And we're going to have a lot of practice today with this breath. Start to feel your jaw already relaxing. I'd like a few open mouth exhales. Couple more. You deserve the gift of calm. And release. Bending both knees again, placing both feet back down on the mat. We'll get to the blanket in just a few moments again, so lay it to the side. And take one of your blocks, have them both closer to you. You might have to bring them up a little bit. And you take it in the medium width, between the inner thighs, close to the groin. Check that your front ribs are really relaxed in. Squeezing the block on the inhale, lift the pelvis up off the earth just into a low bridge. So if I was to gather, I only have about 2 inches between my buttocks and my floor. So it's a very low bridge. And all we're going to do here is this long, deep breathing again into the back ribs on the earth there. So breathe into the back ribs. I'm resting my hands on my belly. And this lifting up is activating the lower muscles of the body to turn on again a bit for our practice. Our glutes are firing for our practice. And again, just long, deep breathing into the back ribs on the mat. Jaws relaxed. You kind of feel about a grapefruit distance between the chin and the chest. So you got a neutral chin, neutral neck. All 4 corners of your feet are rooted. Maybe open mouth exhales. Let the glutes feel like they're coming alive, they're firing. Good. So before we lower to the earth, take your palms to the front of your thighs, right where they come into the hip divot, and press away into the thighs with your hands. Make some space. And with your glutes firing, you're going to segmentally, very slowly come down along your spine, upper, middle, and then eventually the sacrum touches. So we'll remove this block over to the left side of your mat and put it on the highest level. So it's just over here waiting for your knee. And then first take your blanket and bring it under your head for a lovely pillow. Okay. Roll over to your left side. And I'm taking my other block over here, just laying it down for the right arm soon. But we're going to roll to our left side and bend the knees. And this top right knee, bring it up towards you a little bit and put it on top of your block. And if you don't have a block, don't worry, just keep the knees stacked. You're laying, looking to the left for now. This blanket's under your head. And then we're going to inhale and open up. So bring the right arm up and over and kind of touch the other block with your right arm. And then take it back. And just do some very slow thoracic mobility rotations. Getting into the juiciness again of the thoracic spine. So the block under your right knee is just helping your pelvis stay still and quiet. It's not going with you as you open and close your upper spine. And then the next time you open up, just rest your right arm on your other block. So it doesn't have to go so far to the floor. Maybe you're looking straight up to the sky. That's a good spot. Close your eyes, and on every inhale, bring it into your back ribs. Bring it down into your back sacrum. So on your inhale, I actually feel pulling my belly in. There you go. And that directs the breath into your low back and sacrum. Really returning some calm and regulating the nervous system. One more inhale. Fill up completely into the backside of your body. Really press it into the back and release. So the block that was upright, I'm going to lay it down just there now on my left side, but I'm going to roll over completely onto my right side. Stack my knees. Now I'm going to take my other block upright, bring that left knee a little more forward of me. Can you see that? And now it just rests on it like a table. You probably want to take a little nap here. And then I'm going to begin my left arm opening and turning my ribs to the left and then bringing it back hand to hand. Nice and slow. Inhale. I'm trying to find the block with my left arm every time because it can just rest there and not go too far. Keeps the shoulder blade engaged. And no judging, how different we may be from side to side. It's very common in our bodies to be up to a 15% difference from side to side. That's normal. We're not looking to be perfectly symmetric with our flexibility or our strength. Deepen your breath, a couple more rounds of just opening and closing and rotating the thoracic spine. Pelvis is quiet, not moving. And then the next time you open up, rest your left arm over there on that other block and close your eyes. And your work here is to really direct the breath into the low sacrum, into the back ribs. So on your inhales, pull the belly in. Yes, and press it back there. Make space with that breath. This is kind of the beginning of our gentle abdominals today. We'll be doing abdominals laying on our belly. The way do you feel this whole new nervous system you're going to have after this practice? Do a few more rounds, breathing into the low back ribs. Making space with the breath. And then gently remove your blocks. Just rolling over to bring some hands to the earth to help you up. Bring your blanket just to the side of your mat, but shift your blocks forward. I gotta always reclip my hair because it gets in the way. All right. So here's where we're gonna move into those abdominals on our belly. So I'm gonna take my rolled blanket and put it across my mat. I'm gonna lay on it on my belly, but I'm pretty much putting the blanket, like feel your bony hip points here. I want the blanket to be right above those in this fleshy part of the belly between the bony hip points and the bottom ribs. So see if you can align yourself there. Kind of find that spot the best you can. So it's above the bony hip points, the ASIS, and it's sitting right below the low ribs. That's it. So at first, this can feel a little uncomfortable when we have tension in our belly, but the blanket's going to help actually release a lot of that stored emotion. That's what it is, into our low belly. So come on down with your forehead on stacked hands. And the first thing you're going to do here is just breathe and relax into your belly on this blanket. And it may be uncomfortable, so that's kind of why we're doing it. Let the blanket press out some of that tension. Let the belly sink into the blanket. It's crazy, right? How much we have stored in our gut. Couple more, just relaxing the belly into the blanket. Okay. Now for our first abdominal, take a deep inhale and then exhale and pull your belly as if you could up off the blanket. Pull it up. Relax it. Inhale. Exhale. Pull the belly up off the blanket as if you could. You'll still feel the blanket, but you definitely feel you're pulling your belly up. Inhale. Belly releases into the blanket. Exhale, belly pulls up off the blanket. And one more. Inhale. These are abdominals today. Exhale, belly pulls up off the blanket. Good, and relax. Natural, normal breathing. We're learning how to make space in our low back. And we'll practice this same breath in many of our postures today. So remember this feeling when you're on the blanket. Now let's do the opposite. Take a deep inhale and pull your belly up into the back. Feel that widening of the low back, pelvis, and then exhale, release. This is the one you want to remember. Inhale, pull the belly into the back. Exhale, release the belly into the blanket. I know you're probably feeling your heartbeat pulsing in your navel center. That's good. Inhale, pull the belly into the back. Really pull up, pull up, pull up. Exhale, relax into the blanket. Oof. I know this is deep belly work. And one more, you're doing great. Inhale, pull the belly up. Exhale, relax into the blanket. Return to natural, normal breathing here for a few more moments. This is really good work for your belly. I know it's somewhat uncomfortable. And then plant your hands underneath your shoulders. Inhale, slowly come up to hands and knees. Whew. Yes. And let's set the blanket aside towards the back of our mat because we're going to get to there using it a little later in class. Let's come into a child's pose, knees wide, big toes together. Go ahead and rest yourself back. You could always put a block under your forehead here if you'd like a little table, or even under your blanket if you wanted to. Practice that belly breathing, that on your inhale, you're pulling the belly up into the low back, making space. Yes. Feel the widening across the low back, across the low hips. Maybe a few extra open mouth exhales. We're totally unwrapping you. Yes. And that gift of calm. Good. Now inhale, come on up to hands and knees again in quadruped. In our quadruped or table pose, we always are a little closer than typical table. So my wrists are under my shoulders, my knees are a little forward under my hips, and that maintains that integrated core, and the pelvis doesn't have the opportunity to dump. So I'm holding my pelvis very neutral versus this. This would be anterior tilt where it kind of dumps forward. So I really gather the lower pelvic muscles and hold my pelvis in neutral. And now where my hands are, I'm going to put my elbows down and come into this kind of dolphin prep. And you can just look straight down right now and soften the shoulder blades a little bit more towards the spine. And then inhale, round the upper back, but more I want you to feel like you're broadening it, widening it. And then exhale, soften the shoulder blades, melt the heart a little bit. And then exhale, broaden. Oh, press up. Widen across the shoulder girdle, the rib cage, and then soften. The last time here, we'll exhale and broaden up. We'll lower the head between the biceps, but certainly my head's not on the floor at all. It's just dangling here. I've got this real broadness in my upper back. And you can stay here or curl the toes under. Inhale, lift off your knees. Walk in a little bit for a few moments of dolphin, practicing that same breath. As you inhale, really pull the belly in and just widen everything across the backside of your body. Take a break whenever you want to. Come down on the knees and just do the same thing we were practicing earlier. Couple more moments. Couple more deep breaths across and widen the back. Good. And then exhale, slowly lower down and back to child's pose. Big toes together, knees apart, rest the sit bones back, lower the head. Use the deep breath to create the space and expand your back ribs here. Good. All right, visualize where we're going next. We're going to slowly make our way up to standing, very slow and calm. So you can come up any way you'd like, through down dog or just stepping to the top of your mat. Feel the difference already. Just stand in your beauty, your feet hip distance apart, knees soft. Try to feel a little triple S going on, the skull back in line with the scapula, in line with your sacrum. So if you take your arms by your sides, kind of draw the head back a little bit more in line over the spine. Most of the time, especially when we're busy, we're like this in life. Everything's forward. We're just all in our head trying to get things done. Take the back of your left hand to your sacrum, in the palm of the right hand to the back of the skull. Try not to pop out these front ribs as you're here. So knit those front ribs back in. And begin that same breath that we were practicing on the floor on our blanket. On the inhale, pull the belly in into where your hand is. Even if you don't quite feel it today, just keep working that energetically. And move the breath into the low back, into the sacrum. A couple more rounds like this. Keep widening the back. Good. And then release the arms by your sides and exhale. Hinge in your hips so the hips go far back. You can use your blocks or take your hands to the earth and step your right foot back. Lower the right knee under your right hip and the top of the foot on the floor. So this is called 90-90. Our knees are in 90-90. Our right glute's firing. Let's do the same arms we just did. Right hand to the back of the skull, left hand to the back of the sacrum, ribs knitted in. And we're just going to, again, close our eyes if you want and start to inhale. Just broaden this whole low back with your breath and exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more. Pull the belly in on that inhale. Move the breath into your low back. That's it. And exhale. Perfect. Release the arms. We'll plant the hands. We'll step into plank pose just for a second. So step the feet back, shoulders over the wrists, lower the knees, zip everything in again. You're really holding strong to the spine, and very slowly come on down for a baby cobra. So in a baby cobra, the glutes are firing, the pelvis pubic bone is pressing down. But remember how we pulled the belly up off that blanket? Do that here. And then inhale, pull it up, and drag the hands back a little bit to lift up slightly into a baby cobra. Really pull that lower belly up, and the scapula is kind of pressing forward through the heart. Yes. Inhale, come up to hands and knees, and then downward facing dog, nice and slow. Soft knees, walk your feet forward a little bit, and drive those femur bones way up high into the hip sockets. So it's all about going up more than back. Okay, I'm not concerned about getting my heels down. And now let's do that belly breathing. Inhale, pull the belly in. And make space across the low back. Exhale. Inhale. Yes. Can you feel how you're directing the breath into every cell across the whole back? Perfect. Now we step our right foot forward. So go ahead and help your right foot forward and lower down onto your left knee, under the left hip, and be on the top of the foot. And now you're in 90-90 on the other side. So it'll be the right back of the hand to your sacrum and the left palm to the skull. Knit in the ribs. See how nice and stacked you are? Got really good triple S going on. Skull, scapula, sacrum, posture's great. Now, if you want to close your eyes, although that could be tricky for balance, inhale, pull the belly in to your backhand. Keep doing that broadening of your back with your breath. Inhale. And if you're finding that, gosh, it's hard for me to even take a deep breath, I didn't realize, I'm so glad you're here because we got to get breathing again. Did you know the average person gasps their way through life all day long? They have no idea they're not even breathing. Really mentally, visually, and then pull that inhale across your whole back. Pull it in. Ah. And release the arms. You can take them to your blocks or the earth and step your left foot forward. You're having this nice hinge in your hips, and inhale, slowly rise up. And the exhale, hands to heart center. And just stand here for a moment in your bliss. Can you feel it? It's definitely coming back. Ah, you deserve it. It's your birthright, by the way. All right. Exhale. You can take your fingers to the hips. It's kind of nice. And hinge back. This really is the safe forward bend to do. Instead of reaching over like this, do your forward bends like this. Reach down and pick up something. Okay. So now the hands to the mat. Right foot steps back again. Lower the right knee in 90-90. But this time as you come up, keep your right toes curled under. Good. The back of the left hand again to the sacrum or low back, the palm of the right hand behind the head. But now we're going to introduce some side bends to the left. Right glute firing. Inhale, reach up with your right elbow, up and slightly over. Just go up through the right elbow. Now bring that belly breath in. Inhale, pull the belly into the back. Exhale. Inhale. Reach up through the right elbow more. Feel free for open mouth exhales today. Make space. Good. Inhale up tall. Whew. Might be getting a little woozy from all that breath. Plant the hands. We're going to very slowly take our left leg up and back into a one-legged downward facing dog at hip height only. So keep the pelvis level. If this was more than you want to do today, lower your right knee down and extend the left leg back. Right? I love it. There's so many ways to do things. Okay, wherever you are, inhale, breathe into your back, make space. Inhale, pull the belly in like that blanket was still underneath your belly. One more. That's it. Bring your left knee forward and down onto the mat underneath you again. And then kick your left toes off the left side of your mat, back there behind you, and your right toes turn to face the back of your mat. This is called Stargazer. Let's bring a block underneath the left hand so we just get up a little higher. It makes it a little easier. And notice I'm really directly centrated under that shoulder. Right elbow pulls up. Let your head just relax down, meaning my ears kind of falling to my left shoulder. My left glute is firing, and all I want to do is that same breath here. Pull the belly back on the inhale. Make sure your right knee is pointing straight to the back of your mat over your right foot, hasn't caved in or anything. Oh, feel the pull up on this whole front of this left thigh and hip. You're making space there. And then exhale, release. Right from here, you just pull this left knee up forward underneath you so you can sit down facing the side of your mat and extend your right leg out. Yeah. Let's bring both hands to the back of the skull interlaced and make your legs active so they're working for you here. And then side bend to the right. Left elbow pulls up. Breathe into the low back. And then side bend to the left. Right elbow pulls up. One more time. Side bend to the right. And side bend to the left. Come up center. Fold the elbows in. And then just let your chin dip to your chest. But notice I'm not rounding the spine at all. And I'm just letting the weight of my hands and the elbows folded in give me a little stretch on the entire back of my neck. I've been saying recently, I need to get a massage. Can feel the busyness creeping up into my neck and shoulders. So breathe here. Melting away. Close your eyes. Inhale, come back up, release the hands. I do feel like that old 1960s commercial, Calgon, Take Me Away, or whenever it was. Turn to face the back of your mat. We're going to come in to downward dog just to spin our heels a little bit. So when we come up and the knees are bent, we just twirl the heels left, twirl the heels right, kind of staying up on your toes. You're giving a little massage to the bottom of your feet. Do you feel how when your pelvis is going left and right, you're really pulling on the back fascia that's so tight to the rim of our pelvis? Deepen your breath up there. Yes. Good. Lower the knees and then again come all the way onto your belly. No blanket this time. Stack your hands, rest your forehead. Now pretending you have the blanket underneath you. Inhale, pull the belly up. Feel the broadening across the pelvis and exhale, relax it. That's it. Inhale, pull the belly up. Wow, that's big space we're making. Exhale, release. One more. Inhale, pull the belly up. Oh, exhale, release. I know we could just check out right now. Okay, I'm good. Take the hands under the shoulders. Inhale, lift up through table pose. And then we're going to come towards the back of our mat with our blanket for a high, happy squat. So rise up, go ahead and walk your hands back and find your tortilla roll blanket. We're going to bring it right into the hip groove. And this is high, happy squat. Actually, it's kind of nice with a block, if you have one, to put the block out on the far reach, but the hips go way back, and just resting the body on the blanket. It gives you nice space for the hip joints. Let the head go. Fingertips could be on the earth if you don't have a block. And then do that breath again. Inhale, pull the belly in. Make space. Yeah, exhale, relax. Inhale, pull the belly in. Exhale, relax. Pull the belly in. Exhale, relax. And just be here now for some natural, normal breathing through the nose. Open your jaw, flutter your lips. Do a really big if you just need to let go of something that you've been hanging on to too long. Scream, ah! And come up slightly. Take the blanket out. Gonna put it off to the side. Walk yourself forward a little bit, lower the knees, and step your right foot forward. Okay, so we'll begin the other side. Feel the difference. Wow, what a shift energetically. Back of the right hand to your sacrum, left hand to the back of the skull, knit in the ribs. Inhale, take the left elbow up and over for a side bend here. You want this left glute firing still so you get nice hip extension. And then just keep reaching up through the left elbow. It's more up than it is over for this side bend. And work on that directing your inhale into your back hand. You're lifting the belly away and in, and directing the breath back there. Great stretch for the front of the left hip. Chin is neutral. We're not lifting up or looking down. Inhale, rise up. Just feel that difference as you slowly release. Right leg, downward facing dog, takes us back. Or you stay on the left knee, extend the right leg behind you, hip height. Really get that co-contracted core hugging and holding you strong. And begin your deep breaths, pulling the belly into the back. The breath is really widening the back ribs. Again, this can be done on the floor on the left knee and the right leg extended. Now pull the right knee forward and down onto the mat. You kick the right toes off behind you, off the side of the mat. And this is your stargazer, where you open the left foot to the back of the mat, the left knee. I'm going to grab a block for under my right hand. And I really want to make sure I am centrated here, that the block isn't too far forward or anything for me. I want it right underneath me. The left elbow pulls up. The right glute is firing. And now I'm going to practice that breath where I'm going to pull the belly on the inhale. In and to broaden and widen my back and my pelvis. I'm really pulling up in the right quad, making space in the hip. I just let my head go. I let my right ear fall to my right shoulder. Because really the work here today is using the breath. Again, this is called Stargazer. And slowly exhale the left hand down for a moment, just to help you swing this right knee forward and under you so you can sit down. You're going to be facing the left side of your mat, or the west side, we often like to call it. And I stretch out this left leg. So it's kind of like a wide Janu Shirshasana. Both hands interlace behind my skull. I'm using the legs so I pull up out of the pelvis. Inhale, and exhale, side bend to the left, but really my right elbow is what's pulling up. And I'm going to direct that breath again. Really pull it into my back. And then inhale through center, side bend to the right. These are small because more you're going up through the left elbow. Now take that inhale, pull it into your back. Widen and broaden your back and your pelvis. Inhale, center, side bend to the left. Pull up in the right elbow, neutral chin, and inhale, center, and side bend to the right. Pull up through the left elbow. Use your legs. They help me get up. Good. Come to center, fold the elbows in, lower your chin towards your chest, but not your spine rounding. And close your eyes and let the weight of your hands and your arms on the back of your head give you a little neck stretch. You can now go back to that breath. Yes, pull the belly in as if you were laying on that blanket so long ago. Inhale. So relaxing for the nervous system. Inhale, come up, open the elbows, release the arms. Ooh, pause for a moment, feel it. Wow. Talk about a makeover. Turn to face the front of your mat. You're going to come into your downward facing dog and just spin your heels. And spin the heels left and right, getting a little more tug and pull on the back fascia of the rim of the pelvis, where everybody gets so tight there. Nice. Walk yourself towards the top of your mat. Hinge in your hips. And come on up to standing. Wow. What a difference already. So we're going to travel one more time through actually the same sequence to keep it simple, but we're just going to change it a little bit. Okay. So we'll inhale, the arms go forward and up. It's a very simple sequence. Exhale, hinge in your hips. The right leg goes back, grab a block, because this block on the low level is going to go under your right knee. Again, if you don't have a block today, it's fine. Just put the right knee down on the mat. The block just lifts you up and gives you a little more space. The right glute's firing. The left back of the hand is to the sacrum. Inhale the right arm forward and then up. And then with these ribs knitted in, see if you can slide up the back scapula on the right a little more. And then a side arc to the left. But it's like the same as if I was reaching out through that elbow, I'm reaching up through the right arm. I'm not trying to reach over. I'm trying to really feel like I'm uncorking this whole right side. Yes, let's take several breaths here. Ribs stay knitted in, quiet ribs. Breathe into your back hand. There you go. And inhale, tall. Excellent. So as we take the left leg back again into the down dog, you certainly can do this with your right knee on the floor, but just get your block out of the way. So the left leg goes up and back again into that one-legged down dog or right knee on the floor. And then cross your left leg behind you and reach it out to the side, getting a left hip stretch. Inhale into your back and bring it back to center. And then stretch it out behind your right leg and back to center. One more. Stretch it out behind your right leg. Stay here for a couple of those belly breaths. Can be done on the earth as well. Good. Bring the left knee back underneath you forward for your stargazer. The left knee goes down. You're kicking the left foot off behind you. Stargazer again. The right foot points down the back of the mat. Your choice here under your left hand. Did you like the block? Go ahead and put the block back under there if you want. And this is the same. The right elbow just drags up. Block or no block under the left hand. That looks great, Sherry. Pull in the front ribs. Take that inhale into your back. Pull the belly back like you're laying on that blanket. Left glute firing. Oh, stretch up through that right elbow more. Exhale, right hand comes down. Pull the left knee through again so you can sit facing the east side of your mat and extend your right leg. So same sequence exactly. This time the arms are different. The right hand comes behind your sacrum. You want to use these legs, keep them firing and pulling up. And then the left hand comes to the back of the skull. Side bend to the right, reach up through your left elbow. And we're just going to stay here for several breaths. Use your legs to pull up out of your pelvis. Use your inhale to pull the belly into the back. Oh, do you feel your back ribs so much wider than they did when we began? They're able to expand more. Inhale tall. Exhale, just let go for a second here. Grab your blanket, pull it in front of you. I'm just going to put my elbows on it and enjoy just a little bit of a forward bend here, not tipping my pelvis, relaxing my head just to neutral chin. And work the breath as we inhale into the back. Wow, I can really feel it in this pose. And relax on the exhale. Inhale. Pull the belly into the back and widen. Flutter your lips. One more breath. Yay, inhale tall. It's working. Slide your blanket behind you for the other side, off the mat. Everybody take a deep inhale, open mouth, exhale. So the next pose we went to was downward facing dog, and we spun the heels. So turn towards the front of your mat. Take your time. Inhale, lift the hips. Soft knees. You're on the balls of your feet. And spin your heels to the right. Knees bend to the left. Stay here and lower your left heel to the mat. And really work that breath here for a few moments. Pull that belly into the back on the inhale. Good. Spin the heels to the left, knees point to the right. Keep holding strong in the upper body. Lower your right heel. And nice deep breaths here. Inhale, pull the belly in. Widen the back ribs in the back pelvis. Exhale. 2 more breaths. If arms are shaking, that's okay. This is good strengthening. Ooh, feel that outer right hip getting some space. Good. Spin the knees to center. Perfect. And lower the knees down. Step the left foot forward. Oops, excuse me. Step the right foot forward. There we go. And the toes are curled under. Rise up into your 90-90 as we make our way to the other side. So now the right hand is on the low back. Inhale the left arm forward and up. Knit in the ribs. Left glutes firing. Side bend to the right, but more reaching up and out of this whole left side. Now work your breath. Inhale, pull the belly in, widen the back. Hmm. One more. Reach out more, reach up. Ugh. No reason we have to shrink in our old age. Inhale, come tall. And exhale, release. So this is our one-legged down dog. So plant the hands. The right leg goes up and back, or you're down on your left knee in the modified version. And then cross your right leg behind your left. And then back to center. And then cross it behind you. Really get that hip stretch. And back to center. One more. We're going to stay over here and breathe those belly breaths. Good. Uncross, pull the right knee forward and down. Stargazer, you kick the right toes off behind you, off the right side of the mat. Spin open, the left foot points to the back of the mat. If you liked that block under your hand, go ahead and grab it. Or right hand on the mat this time. Left elbow pulls up. Oh, like you're just stretching in bed, getting up. Let your head relax down, right ear to right shoulder. Practice that belly breath. On the inhale, you pull it in and make space. And release. Left hand down for a moment so that you could pull this right knee underneath you and sit down on your right sit bone. Left leg extends out and you're facing the west or the left side of your mat as you know it. We want the legs active. They're pulling up. That's it. Left hand to the back of the sacrum, the back of your hand. The right hand to the back of your skull, knit in the ribs. Inhale and side bend to the left, just staying here for several breaths. But your action is pull up everywhere through that right elbow, your legs. And now direct that inhale, pull the belly back. Chin is neutral. I'm not lifting in the chin. I still feel my triple S, my skull, scapula, and sacrum in alignment. Oh, I can breathe so much deeper now. Good. Come sit up tall, release the arms, pull your blanket over in front of you here, and then exhale, hinge over maybe your elbows or forearms on the blanket. Or if this feels too much, you can just be up higher, right? With your hands on the blanket. And then just melt here for a few breaths. This is a great posture to practice the belly breathing, drawing the belly in on your inhale. And just feel the whole back side of you widening. I could not wait to get to this class this Friday. Boy, we need it this month. Every month. One more belly breath in. And come on up slowly. You're going to turn to the front of your mat again for downward facing dog. So lift the hips up and back. Spin the heels to the left, knees point right, and lower your right heel down. And get that full side stretch here on the right side. Breathe in the belly breath. Oh. Spin the heels to the right. Lower the left heel down. Right heel's up. All the toes are down in the left foot. Inhale to center, child's pose. Lower the knees down, knees wide, big toes together. Rest back. Oh my gosh, feel the difference. You can stack your hands, rest your forehead. Do some big open mouth exhales, flutter your lips. There's no way you're the same person that started this practice today. Okay, so we're going to set ourselves up for a long, yummy Shavasana with a few supine hip openers first. But here's what I like to do lately is I get my blocks ready for low level under my knees. So I kind of, figure out where that is. And then we're going to take our blanket under our head today. So I'm going to lay down and really get positioned, my blanket under my head, like a pillow. Does that feel good? So now the blocks are in place. I don't have to get up. But first I want to do some supine pigeons. So I'll pick up my knees, maybe step my feet on the block. And I'm going to cross my left ankle to my right knee. The key is to keep your sacrum on the mat. So it's truly your hip flexion that brings the legs in a little bit more. Now you can hold on to the back of your right thigh if you want with your hands interlaced. Just don't pull your legs in too much that you're pulling off your sacrum. Remember, you want neutral pelvis wherever you are. And then close your eyes and begin that deep belly breathing. So when you inhale, you pull the belly down and pull that breath down into your sacrum. And exhale. So doesn't it feel now like you're breathing in your sacrum, not your lungs? Like you're breathing in your pelvis. You can feel the movement of space. Very good. Uncross. Right ankle now comes above the left knee. You can bring in the legs just where the flexion stops, meaning you can't, flex the hips anymore. And then interlace the hands under behind the left hamstring if you want. Sacrum is rooted. And now do your belly breathing. Inhale down into your sacrum. Feel the space you're making in your right hip just with your breath. Perfect. Slowly release, sliding the legs forward into your relaxation pose. If you don't have blocks, you can always throw some pillows under your knees. You can stay with your knees bent, your knees together, feet apart, whatever makes your low back feel delicious. I often relax with my hands just on my belly. Maybe you like them flopped out to the side. Eyes are closed. And we're going to take a nice long Shavasana today. So please allow yourself that. Don't turn off your device early. This is the most important part of your practice, to take your calm with you. This is where you integrate and absorb all that we just did. So you let the installation, so to speak, continue. Please enjoy. You can always cover yourself up if you like. Keep giving yourself permission to melt, to let go. Continue relaxing with your eyes closed. Bringing one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly. Feel these beautiful brains you have here. The heart, the gut. They're always right. They always know. Take 3 deep breaths into the heart, into the belly. Illuminate them with your breath. Bring the light back on here. And then just sweep the arms back behind you. Really reach and lengthen. Hook your thumbs. Reach, reach, reach behind you. Reach through your toes in front of you. Breathe into your low back. This is truly what self-care looks like, self-love. That you took the time out today for you. You put your oxygen mask on first. Roll to your favorite side as you draw your knees in. Pause for a moment. And very, very slowly make your way up to seated. Just feel the difference from when you began. I'll say goodbye to those on the recording. Thank you so much for joining me for Unwrapped, the Gift of Calm. Namaste.